Get any sleep, baby?
Dropped off the moment my head hit the pillow.
Grief does that.
Oh, Chandler, you're all wet.
The dock's almost gone. The storm's torn up the pilings. If the cook and helper don't get here, my name ain't Chandler Marlowe.
But your name isn't Chandler Marlowe. I mean, really.
You're a stickler for details, Padre.
I suppose you're wondering why I've taken Rick's demise so lightly.
You ain't exactly used up a box of Kleenexes with the waterworks.
Truth of the matter is, Rick and I have been estranged for some time. Would you like to hear about it?
Not really.
No, personal things gotta be kept personal. I ought to know. I've looked through enough keyholes today. I don't really need to hear anything about it.
If you insist. He was interested in another woman. Or perhaps more correctly, another woman was interested in him.
Dames will get you every time.
Do you know the creature?
Rick or the other woman?
The other woman?
A little. I had a private investigator investigate her.
Well, what sort of person was she?
Fascinating, I suppose, but unscrupulous. Her name was Mabel Dupree.
What is it now?
What are you talking about?
You said her name was Mabel Dupree. What does she call herself now?
That's a stupid question, Chandler.
Then let's hear a stupid answer.
Well, that it doesn't change its spots. I imagine her name is still Mabel Dupree.
What did the private investigator come up with?
Not much. She moves around, never stays long in one place. He did find one thing of interest, though.
Oh?
She had a violent temper.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
I can well understand the attraction. Mabel Dupree the Flame, Rick Carlysle them off.
Only he got burned. Bad.
Classic tragedy.
I love that man of mine. He'd be by my side today if it weren't for that vampire. Achoo!
Speaking of vampires, Miss Maple's library has a fine collection of Victorian novels. Some are quite ghoulish.
Not my type of stuff. I cover the pavement.
Do you think she might be mixed up in your husband's death?
Miss Maple,
Miss Dupree.
a woman like that is capable of anything.
You're positive you never crossed paths?
Never set eyes on her. However, I did hear her voice.
When?
Where?
In my contemporary Manhattan apartment weeks ago, before the invitation arrived. The phone rang, I answered, the operator said, person call from Mabel Dupree for Rick Carlysle, and then I heard her voice.
What did she say?
She said, hello?
What did you say?
I said, if you know what's good for you, you'll never try to contact my husband again, or else.
Or else what?
I'd rather not say.
This is all so distressing. Fun games are one thing, but murder is quite another.
Amen, sister. Murder ain't no parlor game.
Chandler, you're all wet.
I've been outside.
Obviously. What am I going to do?
No telephone anywhere in the house.
None. No wireless or citizens band either.
It's a cinch no boat's going to get here before daylight.
What about poor Rick?
He ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
I thought you were going to give me a hand outside. For all we know, the killer could be out there prowling around right now, waiting for another target.
You mean strike again?
He or she. The female is the deadly species.
Chandler, you're old.
Don't say it. Don't say it or I'll have to give you a knuckle sandwich.
Your sort would resort to brute force.
It's been the secret of my success.
If brute force would all, Tiger would not be a squapping.
There you go, talking about bugs again.
Mr. Moto, have you discovered anything that might shed some light on this terrible affair at Ravenswood Manor?
Fan.
What?
His name is Fan. You called him Moto.
Did I? What? How peculiar.
Please to enter.
You have discovered something.
Please be seated, Miss Mabel. We'll presently name murderer of once semi-famous Rick Carlysle.
You know who did it.
Can't be done.
Patience. All will be the field.
I have a strong feeling, Mr. Wong, that the murderer's name will begin with the letter M.
Fan.
What?
His name is Fan. You called him Wong.
Oh, I didn't say he was wrong. I said the murderer's name will begin with the letter M.
Not wrong, Wong.
This is getting us nowhere. I do hope the suspense will last.
The guy we need here is Pharaoh Link,
Who?
top police detective on the Frisco Force.
The name is not unfamiliar to me. However, since he does not write detective fiction, he is not on my list of invitees.
What's all this business about letter M?
The deceased was mixed up with another doll.
Mabel Dupree.
Please, know nothing of letter M.
Comes right after L. Sorry.
But why would this Dupree woman want to poison Mr. Carlyle?
I know her sort. Unpredictable, quick-tempered, dangerous. A woman like that will stop at nothing.
What was her motive?
Obvious. Rick preferred me and told her so. Mabel Dupree vowed vengeance.
Proof?
No proof. Women's intuition.
Intuition ain't no substitute for logic.
Must get you back on track. The clue is in the recording. The killer knew each of us intimately.
If you mean the accusations, I have no idea what the fellow was talking about. I'm here only because I was invited.
Killer hates detective mystery writers. We'll presently name murderer. You! You are the murderer.
Oh, Miss Mabel's father.
Correction, please. That is portrait of famed historian Ludwig Flush.
But why should Ludwig Flush want to do us harm?
Early in his career, Ludwig Flush wrote detective novels under pen name of Antonia Cheddar, failed miserably, turned psychotic, and devoted them to the subject of ancient history.
You mean his sense of frustration was so fierce, he punished successful detective writers?
I've heard of weirder customers.
Well, where is he now?
In-house.
At Eagleton Manor.
I know. He must have been the face at the window.
Could be.
Not possible.
Why not?
Due to advancing age, Ludwig Flush confined to wheelchair.
It's a fine theory, but it won't hold water.
Like this coat I'm wearing. It's damper than a lunch counter rag.
What kind of proof, I wonder?
I'm afraid Mr. Wong gets carried away. He does that in his writings too. Never could make any sense of his nonsense. One finds more clarity in a fortune cookie.
What sort of talk?
Fortunately, that's all.
What are you doing with that dirty old thing? It doesn't belong on
How is he? What has he done? This is getting beyond ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this. Oh, please. This is ridiculous. Cut it out.
No! Incriminating evidence.
A wheelchair? I don't see what that proves.
Miss Mabel, why did you lie? Why did you say Madame Portrait was dishonorable fodder?
I never dreamed it would come to this.
You mean Ludwig Flush is your father?
Oh, I mean nothing of the sort. I know no deranged person by the name of Ludwig Flush.
But Portrait!
Oh, wait, you must know. There is a hole in the fireplace wall. The portrait fit perfectly, so I used it for covering.
Where did you get the portrait?
But where I get all my interesting items at a garage sale.
Garage sale?
Your entire line of reasoning is absurd.
But wheelchair.
Well, maybe this will help. What's written here?
What's it say, kid?
Property of United States Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
If found, please contact nearest federal lighthouse station.
Well, if it doesn't belong to Ludwig Flush, how did it get here?
Oh, all sorts of flotsam and jetsam washes up on the beach. It's kept in the cellar, but obviously Mr. Fan felt the wheelchair should be brought up to aid in his ridiculous theory.
Most interesting case. Must readjust deduction.
Hatchet, get that out of here.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Maple, I'm afraid one of the upstairs windows may blow open. Damage could be done to the expensive Oriental.
Expensive? You can get a Louis fan paper back for 2 bits.
Oh!
I meant the Oriental carpet. It's rare.
So are you, baby.
Go along. Take your hat box with you. You are always leaving it about.
Yes, Miss Maple.
we all realized we could have been wiped out.
You mean if we had eaten the biscuits?
The poison was in the biscuits.
I give you 3-1 on the sherry. That stuff will kill you even when it ain't been poisoned.
Do we fully grasp the seriousness of the situation?
Cast off from the mainland.
The storm.
I think it would be a wise idea if none of us ate or drank anything until morning.
Until morning.
Until the storm ebbs and we can signal a passing boat.
If still arrive. The poison was not in the sherry or the biscuit.
We all saw the empty glass and the half-bitten biscuit.
Stand up, if you would, Mrs. Carlysle.
Oh, a touch of the master there, Sherlock Holmes.
Magnifying glasses have become quite sophisticated since the days of London fog and hansom cabs. This one, for example, magnifies 20 times. It can also identify odors.
Amazing.
One should never be taken in by appearances. It's a capital mistake to theorize before one has all the evidence.
So,
If you'll all look here, you'll see what I mean. You are mistaken? There's the spot.
Oh,
You see it?
Why, it's a little needle.
Correct.
let me have a look.
Rick Carlysle was murdered by a poisoned dart.
Dart?
I discovered the dart about an hour ago. Since it entered the body at an almost straight angle, I surmised that it came from the portrait. Or rather, as Miss Maple has explained, a hole in the wall.
You're right. One eyeball is missing.
We're up against a clever killer.
Clever or mad? How do we know some lunatic didn't get wind of this weekend party and decided to have a murderous lark?
letting your imagination run away with you, my dear.
Am I? Do you realize I was sitting in that chair?
Good heavens, you might have been scratched.
Mind explaining yourself out of that one, Lindsay?
I removed the vicious little dart, analysed the poison, returned the miniature weapon to recreate the murder method. And without the poison, the dart was harmless.
I gotta hand it to you, Flimsy. You're no man's fool.
I appreciate that, Chandler.
I still think we ought to case the island.
Well, I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm terrified. What man would do such a thing?
Aren't we forgetting something, Miss Maple?
What?
Poison is a woman's weapon.
Let's go before he gets away.
Right behind.
I should be tending to matters in the kitchen, but I'm frightened of every shadow.
Would you allow my humble protection?
Thank you, Dan. I'd appreciate that.
Your name is Van. Well, what's the use?
I think it would be a wise idea if we stayed together.
You mean safety in numbers?
Precisely.
I don't see how that will protect us from flying darts coated in poison.
Still, we must admit that the killer is a villain of imagination. No pistol shots for this chap.
Then you're convinced the killer is a male.
A rogue male, perhaps. Time will tell.
If your theory is correct, then you could be the killer.
Oh, dear child, you're
Or
distraught.
Peter Flimsy, or Chandler Marlowe,
Laura!
or Louis.
Laura, calm
Get away
yourself!
from me!